Welcome back to Manifestation Monday. No better way to start with a coach, an extraordinary coach. Tanya Stewart is an Alpha Life Success Coach. What is that?
Thank you for asking. So I'm an alpha. You're an alpha. You're an alpha.
Okay.
And everybody's watching this show. Yes,
sure.
we're alpha.
We know that.
I help alpha women. These are amazing, strong women. Their outside tends to be very strong, but a lot of times us alphas are messy on our inside. We're soft.
I'm a hot mess, gotta say. Just kidding.
And so I help them reverse that, because you really want to be soft on your outside, and you want to be strong and have a core of steel on your inside.
Oh, powerful.
Nailed it.
Love
When you flip that changes your life. Alphas mess up their relationships because of that. I mean, we're very inaccessible to most people. They love us in a crisis because we're planners, we're crisis managers, we're amazing analyzers, we're super independent. So if something's messing up, they just throw an alpha at it. They're like, there's an alpha, throw one over there, and we fix it. So we're fixers. But with men, we fix you too. We just get in there, we start fixing.
I don't want to fix, man.
I'm done fixing. I went through that phase. I've evolved through that one. Thank goodness.
Isn't that funny?
I'm not, though, but that's really interesting. I never really understood why that was, or why I was attracting what I am in my life, whether that's with men in relationships or friendships in my career. I get thrown at the things to fix because I'm so strong on the outside, but inside, man, I am messy.
It's funny. It's there. You talked about the cycles. Alphas have a life cycle. So first we fight. So we go in and we try to fight with people. We're going to force it to be the way. We engineer things. And then in our second cycle, we do control. So we try to convince people. And the way we do that is we try to buy the affection by fixing everything for everybody. We're rescuers.
This one's good.
And we never get our stuff done. So you don't write your book, you don't do your movie because your niece is in trouble, your neighbor needs something, your husband needs something, and that's the excuse.
Absolutely. I feel like I get so much done in a day and I get nothing done for myself.
There it is.
Ever.
There it is.
So how do you turn that around?
Oh, you know what's funny is it's the thing alphas don't want to do. It's the foundation work. So people don't like to hear it, but it's the self-love, self-trust, and self-worth. Because when you don't give it to you first, you actually can't get it from other people. Even though you're trying to buy it, it just doesn't work.
Totally. So where do people start with that? So how would they start building the self-worth, the self-love?
I start with 3 pillars. So I have massive truth, massive action, then massive transformation. Alphas like to start with massive action. So that masculine energy, very much like I'm going to do, I'm going to jump in there. But you actually have to start with the truth. So you have to tell yourself, what are the patterns that you keep repeating? So if you look, you'll see that you have messes that continually pop up. You do one thing the way you do everything. So if you find and spot those patterns, and your best friend knows what they are, by the way. If she'll tell you, she can tell you the patterns that you keep repeating. That's where you start.
It's really interesting you're saying this, because I actually had someone gave me as a birthday present this life. It's based on I Ching and on your birthing chart.
Yes.
And it's really about your DNA and how we come in at every life is different. We come in a different DNA, but there's an actual like kind of mathematical equation. And so you get to like play out that role in this lifetime, if you will. And it said, I'm a fixer, and it was a good thing because when you go past fixing, you go to, it was peace. Like, so you're fixing to bring peace to the world, but it feels like fixing and controlling. But when you evolve, it goes to peace. So this is kind of what you're trying to shift that alpha to have it be working for you. Like the power can be working. If you use it for like kind of to control, it's not a good thing, but when you use it power for good. So how do you help women when they're taking that control and they're using it to make a difference in the world? How do you help them with their branding and taking them all through that? What do you do?
So I do the business coaching, but what I found is I couldn't coach somebody's business until I coached the person. So I could give you $1 million idea, they couldn't execute it because they've got all this stuff inside of them, and that's what's out picturing in their world. So the first thing I tell someone to do is you have no business trying to save the world if you haven't saved you.
Ooh.
You can't.
Repeat that.
Everybody wants to do that. Don't try to save the world if you haven't saved you.
So true.
And so often it's a surrogacy thing. It's, okay, I want to rescue enough people and then I've earned enough credit because alphas like to buy love, then someone will come rescue me. So I really get them into the truth of that. And I'm pretty aggressive with that because alphas like it hard and dry and fast. They don't do the soft versions. And once we do that, then we can start moving into, it's funny you said it, the final cycle is surrender. So it's fight, control, surrender. And that's where you start getting peace. That's when you start allowing things to flow. You actually trust that things will come to you that you didn't arrange.
Such a good point, because it's one of the discoveries I had, or realizations I had early in my life, where I would try to control everything from an action perspective, and then over time I took on a more, it's like sort of spiritual mask, I suppose. And then I was trying to control those same things, but I was just trying to do it through spirituality. And I'm like, this is just control one step removed from action, quote unquote. So I love what you're saying there, because I think there's incredible power in surrender. And I think there are incredible things that happen, even better things than I could possibly imagine when I'm in that place of surrender.
You said, that's just brilliant. Almost all the amazing things that have happened to you in your life, you actually didn't arrange. If you really stop and if you made a list, you would find that most of the amazing things, the things that changed your life, the relationships, the opportunities, you didn't have a checklist and say, I'm going to go to the grocery store, turn the corner, and meet the love of my life. You can't do it that way. So when you realize that, you really want to get out of the business of trying to orchestrate for the universe. I call it resigning as the general manager of their universe. So it's powerful to do it that way.
So interesting you said that, because I met Erin that way, and then I met Jeslyn this way, and then this show kind of happened for me
Because
that way.
of this.
Yeah, I had no intention for it to do any TV. It's happened sometimes, but I've never had the real intention to do any of it.
That's source coming right through you. So hard for alphas to lean back and let that happen. Usually in our family of origins, there was usually an emotional thing that caused a breach of trust. So the core abandonment wound for alphas is abandonment. We're so worried that somebody is going to leave us, so that's why all the rescuing. You see, if I rescue you enough and take care of you, then you'll love me and you won't leave me.
And then you'll save me.
Bingo, that's exactly it. Everybody's trying to barter. So when you get out of barter as a way to get your love, when you build yourself up enough, you don't need something from you, and then you're magnetic. Because if I don't need anything from you, you feel so safe with me.
Yeah, just love that. How did you get here?
Oh my goodness. I got here through an amazing friend, and see, that's one of those things, like, I couldn't have arranged it. I do global summits, and somebody said, hey, you know what? You should take a look at this woman. She contacts me and she says, I don't know if you've met me. And I sent her a picture holding up her book. I was like, yeah, I think maybe I know you, Elle.
We love
I think
Elle.
I know you.
Elle.
Special thanks to Elle.
She's everywhere.
She's everywhere. She's like a Visa card.
She is like a Visa
everywhere
card.
I want to be.
You're right.
Okay,
That's
look around.
great.
There she is.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
and you want to know a secret? I'll tell the world. Elle and I are like twins. I used to tell people that if you don't like me this way, you're doomed, because I don't come like in another color. I do. I come in like white and small now. So and she comes in like large and
That's
black
great.
now. So
That's
and we're
great.
on opposite sides of the country. So we've pretty much got the country covered.
That's awesome.
Wow.
I love that.
I love that so much.
So fantastic.
That's special.
I feel loved.
So what are you most looking forward to now with your work? And
Right now, I'm actually changing directions. It's kind of neat because my background is a divorce lawyer. So 20 years as a divorce lawyer. And so I help people through high conflict divorces. And now I'm really going to be focusing on getting people, either preventing the breakdown of those marriages, getting people through them, or helping them recover. Because people don't realize it, but divorce damages you. You can't just remove the person. There's people, you don't talk to people who they're telling you about their divorce and you're like, was it a week ago? And they're like, it was 7 years ago.
totally.
And you're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah, it's still
You
fresh and
still
raw.
kind of hate him, right? Yeah, you do. So I'm helping people get through that, to change their life. And alphas like to do stuff fast. So we're impatient. So I'm working on that timetable. It's like 6 months, let's get this done.
Yeah.
Love that.
And then I'm mad if it's not done.
That's exactly right.
Oh, yeah.
We're pushed. We're directors. It's really good if we're in a business project. Our masculine energy is good there. In relationships, like I said, it causes a little bit of a conflict because we have a driving agenda.
Do you have any tips for people that are challenged to trust and have faith that they can achieve more, better, faster, more enjoyably through surrender? Because I think that's the greatest challenge, right? It's like everybody wants to surrender on some level, but they're really afraid that if they let go of control, everything is going to become a complete mess.
Absolutely. It'll seem actually really simplistic, but it works. You've got to start small, because you do one thing the way you do everything. So do not start in the area that you're most challenged with. If you're having a struggle with relationships, leave that completely alone and go to somewhere where you feel mastery, and then start surrendering something there. So if you're an extremely fit person, start surrendering like how you do your workout routine. You know, you don't have to smith it and edge it and force it. You can trust yourself. Your body actually knows. It has a rhythm. So when you find your surrender in areas that you're not as challenged in and do it in small ways, it transfers to your harder area.
Just love that. It's incredible. I'll never remember exactly the words that Bruce Lee used, but he basically said that, you know, he was an incredible fighter, right? And he said that he wanted to become like water, that was sort of the metaphor that he would use, because water is so soft and it's flexible and it adapts to whatever circumstance or condition it's in. And yet at the same time, that water that can become like a teacup can also carve a canyon.
Yes.
Right?
Water is so powerful. And so it's an excellent thing for when you're talking about masculine and feminine energy. The water is your feminine energy, and the masculine is like the riverbanks. So alphas tend to be, they're very structured, they have the riverbanks, but they don't know how to flow well. And when you get somebody in a relationship, you want to have both parts of the relationship. You want to have the structure of the riverbanks, and you want to have the flow. And when you have that, it's juicy. Everything's alive.
So just curious, because I don't know what your background is as far as when you say alpha, are you referring to psychology? I mean, is there just other, what would be not alpha?
What would be, you know what's funny is the people who are not alpha tend to be people who are not aggressive, driven, motivated, make it happen, push. These are very more people who are willing to let people take care of them. So if you will, I kind of divide the world into 80-20. And you have what I call, producers, and then you have the people who are taken care of. Your alphas are always going to be in the producer herd. We're always going to be creating something, making something, driving something, and we are not content to just sit in the back and see what we get.
Got it. Just was trying to clarify
Thank
what the language around it was. Thank you so much. Incredible work, and I think it's important for just everyone, not just women, but all of us to figure out and navigate how to make our dreams come true, but surrender, and then also deal with other people. It's a mastery that's lifetimes long. So thank you so much for the assistance for all of us.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
Where can people find and work with you?
People can find me at fearlessfocuscoaching.com, and they can also find me all over the internet at Alpha Women Coach. That's women with an E. So I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Twitter, and I'm on Facebook, fearlessfocuscoaching.com. I'll see you soon.
And you can find the blonde version of here in this book, The Paleo Thyroid Solution by Al Russ. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning La La Land.